And when you thought things could not get any better, it does. Welcome everyone to another edition of Partners in Marriage. I'm one half of the host, John Godbolt.
And I'm Vertel Godbolt.
And we're so glad to be with you for part 3 of our family talk. I don't know what to call this, family talk with the family, as we talk about marriage. And this session is going to be about how to prioritize your marriage with all the other responsibilities you have. So today, keep that in mind. But before we go to that, we always invite you to go to our website, because we have great information on there about marriage ideas and even signs of a toxic relationship. If you're not sure if you're with the right person, there's some things, questions you can answer and check off and say, I think I need to skip out of this, or we need some help. So toxic relationships, please check that out. It's partnersinmarriage.com, partners with an S. So part 3 with our family. Again, this is Terrence and Jocelyn McAllister coming up on 30 years of marriage. And we got Royville and Crystal Godbolt coming up on 17 years of marriage. And you got us coming up on 52 years of marriage. So there's a lot of years of marriage in this room. And of course, our guy who's programming us, keeping us going, Malik Bowes, he is 10 years of marriage. So we probably almost got 100. Yeah, we got 100 years in here among us, right at 100. 52, 30, 82 plus 17 is 90, 99 plus 10, 109 years of marriage in this room. First time. That's amazing. So the key here is, the question on the table today is, how do you prioritize your marriage? With all the other duties and responsibilities you have, how do you prioritize? And so I'm going to, Terrence and Jocelyn, y'all get us kicked off.
Okay, well, I'll start. I was just telling him, I said, I think what you've always said is that your first responsibility, is home before anything else. My responsibility is at the house. And so I have to make sure that home is taken care of. I don't want to be the wife that is running and taking care of church and all the other obligations, and I'm running behind basketball and all of this, but then I'm not committed to my marriage. And so I think when you put it in that perspective, if I know I'm committed to him, to making sure that he is taken care of, and then all the other things will fall into place. So that is how I prioritize him. And like we were going back to the commitment piece and the communication. When you communicate what it is that you need, you can't be afraid to communicate and let your mate know what it is that you need from them. They're not mind readers. They can't read your mind and know what you want. So when you let them know what it is that you want, it is our responsibility to make sure that we communicate and that we are committed. So that's what it seems like to me.
So when you say something like that, and you all can tag in anytime, how do you know you're starting to feel like something is off here? Do you feel that you're not prioritizing? What are some keys, and what can you do? You talk again. We all said communication last time. We wind up going around. What do you see to say, well, something is going off here? We need to get back to square one. How do you know that?
I think you can feel it. I think your mate gives you, when you've been married, it doesn't take long to learn your partner's vibe that they give you. When something is off kilter with him, I always know it. And I can ask, and sometimes I'll get, oh, nothing. And I'm like, no, you're not being honest with me. Okay. So I think you just feel when something is not right. The longer you've been together, you get a vibe.
And I'd like to say that before you say something, Terrence, is I think as ministers in the church, and the responsibility that it is, it's weighty. It's weighty. And so sometimes you can say, well, I'm just going to do this. And then you forget about, and you don't do, you prioritize that. Yeah. And I heard a pastor or somebody say that the church is God's bride. Not yours. I'm his bride, you know. Good. So when we keep it in that perspective, that the church is God's bride, and you know, all of us are preach. I mean, I'm not a preacher, but I'm saying all of you are
you
in
don't claim
ministry.
it, but you do a great job when you expound on the word.
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all feel me. But go ahead on, Terrence. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. The only other thing I'll add, I believe, is the communication aspect of when we're prioritizing. You have to have a plan. We have a plan. We're talking. We're trying to prioritize. We don't have I'm a plan and more plan kind of guy. And so we try to come up with a plan to prioritize what we need to do. Because a lot of times you can have a conversation about what you need to do, and if you don't have an appropriate plan, then the conversation is you just have a conversation, it's going to fall by the wayside. So one of the things we try to do is plan. So like this morning, something happened to us, and she looked at me and she said, "What we going to do?" I said, "Well, I'll come up with a plan for us." But we talk about it, and then we plan appropriately, and we put low-hanging fruit, for lack of a better term. We put low-hanging fruit, something that we can accomplish quick, get that done. That gives us some momentum to do the bigger things that we need to do.
Right. It's not anything different than what anybody else has said. I think that you all have given us the answers to the test, today, where you got to communicate, you got to know what they like, what they don't like, and try to do those things and be intentional. Like we literally have the roadmap to what it is we're supposed to do to prioritize our marriage. And the other thing, I think years ago, you were talking to me, Dad, about how to leave work on the leaves, on the bush. You would how you say it, Lord Jesus? Like a metaphor. You would
Metaphor,
like
yes.
a metaphor. It's not wasn't actual factual, but you would drop off work on the bush when you came in the house, and then when you went inside, you had to be, the father, the husband. What you needed to be with husband first, then the father. So I always keep that in my mind. When I come home, don't just go straight upstairs, because sometimes I want to. It's just like drained from work. But just talking to my wife, making sure I greet her, finding out how her day was, and not let that be the only time. Checking in during the day. How's your day going? We just try to be intentional about that. We both do that. Everything going all right. Check in real quick, so it won't be the first time you saw him at the end of the day. But talking to the boys, seeing how they're doing, how their day went, all those things is about marriage. Still, we are parents as well as husband and wife. So I think what you all have told us and what we've talked about, are the things very important. In the other sessions, were very important for us to be able to prioritize our marriage. If we do those things, it's the little things that add up to so much.
Okay. Countess?
That's a very important question, enlightening question. And you think about it, we don't always prioritize our spouse. Excuse me. In an everyday, I'm so sorry. Everyday life, we don't always put that person first. I have a statement that says, "What truly matters doesn't need to be prioritized. It already holds its place at the forefront." It's not something that has been done daily, but is necessary if that person really matters. Like what Roydell was just saying, when you come home, like he matters the most to me. So when he comes home, I need to respond like it. Not just, "Hey, how you doing? Welcome." Like, I've been waiting on you all day. It's just a question to me to like, wow, prioritizing him, he should be at the forefront. This is my husband. So I mean, it's a great question. I've have not always done it. I've always greeted him with a hug and a kiss. That's normal. But for somebody that is a priority and the utmost importance in my life, before my children, that's big to me. Like, he should be at the forefront. So that's just a wake up. He is
Right.
my priority, but knowing how to put him there and express him as my priority that's
Let me
big.
do something, man. I need it in 30 seconds. When you are doing what you call priorities and the priority becomes routine, how do you change that? You're doing it. Hey, I'm greeting you with 4 kisses. But it can become routine. So how do you kick out of that routine and become?
So if I could use this analogy, if you're lifting weights and you're trying to bulk up, you're doing a routine that's going to get you bulked up, but eventually your body recognizes that you hit a plateau and you need to do something different. I think you got to be in tune with your spouse to be able to recognize that something needs to be different because you're in a rut and you're in a routine to change the atmosphere and the perspective of what's going on with your marriage.
Good, good. You again, guys. You went over the time. It's your fault.
Give me a minute.
Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, since he said breaking the routine, I noticed about Bay that he is so intentional. Like just a small thing that he does. Since I've had this cold or whatever, every night he'll say, "Do you want some ginger tea?" He makes it. He boils it. He cuts up the lemons. He uses
Real ginger.
Real ginger.
I gotta hook up with that.
Real ginger.
That sound good.
And he brings it out. After I'm finished, you're finished. He takes the cup. He washes it. He puts it back. You know, just little things like that. And we eat ginger candy. You had your ginger yet? You know, he is so accommodating. He is nurturing. You know, and that's really good. At 50 years, it could
That's a
be,
blessing.
oh, that's just Vertel. She ain't let her get her own stuff. But he doesn't. And
Right.
so those are the kind of things that breaks the routine.
Well, I'm glad we went over this time.
All right, now. All right.
Just kidding. Guys, it's been great sharing with you. We have one more session with the Godboats and McAllisters, and we'll be back soon. But remember, marriage is not a destination. It is a journey of love.